I'm Mike Uyak. I love to try new things, and I've had culinary adventures all around the world, as well as right at home. I've had really wonderful food, as well as some really horrible food. I'd like to share some of my adventures with you, and we'll see if I have what it takes to fix whatever goes wrong. This is Recipe Redemption. Greetings and salutations, Redeemers, and welcome to today's episode of Recipe Redemption. Today, for your viewing pleasure, I have an ethnic food that I've been wanting to try for a little while and finally got a hold of. I'm going to be making laver bread today. Now, laver is a type of wild Atlantic seaweed. And it's sort of similar to Japanese nori, in sort of flavor and texture. But this is a wild seaweed that is eaten as is. Now, nori is a bit more processed. The sheets that you get at the store or that they use to make sushi have been more processed. It's almost like kind of like paper making. They chop them up really, really fine and then sort of screen them out so that they have these sheets of a uniform thickness so that you can always depend that you're going to make a uniform, reproducible roll of sushi every single time. This stuff's a little bit more raw and unprocessed. I'm going to try some just now because it is perfectly edible just like this, dried. Or if you can get fresh laver, which I don't know that we can here in Seattle. But let's try it. Okay. Now I know where they chop up nori and screen them onto sheets. That is a jaw workout. Now, if you've eaten just straight seaweed before, you know what I'm tasting. Seaweed has a very, I can only call it green flavor. I'm going to be picking this stuff out of my teeth for a day or two. Has a very, very sort of green flavor, chlorophyll-y. A certain amount of iodine, which is no accident. Seaweed is an excellent source of iodine, and you can actually sort of taste it as a flavor element. And it's quite salty. It's dried with the brine. Ooh. That was quite a thing. Okay. It's dried with the brine. So it's quite salty on its own, but also in the drying process, crystals of basically monosodium glutamate form on the surface. There's sort of a bloom of this sort of white powder that forms on the surface. And that is kind of, culinary gold, really. It's why some of the thicker, bigger species like kombu is used in making Japanese dashis. The broth that you can get from boiling that off is just basically, it's just liquid umami. It gives a real depth of flavor to a lot of Japanese cooking. In the same way, this has that sort of same flavor. It's not just salty. It has a real profound depth of flavor to it that goes beyond just salty and sort of vegetal and sort of iodine. It all combines together and amplifies into a greater whole. I know I'm waxing poetic about it, but it really is good stuff. Now, how I'm going to use this, the Welsh have something called Laver Bread, which uses this product. And the name is a bit of a misnomer because laver bread is not actually bread. It's more of a spread that goes atop bread. And if you can get that in your head, like I said, it is definitely not actually bread, it's a spread.
No more rhymes now, I mean it.
Anybody want to peanut?
And it's actually, I mean, it's time consuming, but it's simplicity itself. You take the laver, whether it's dried or fresh, doesn't really matter. You you put it in a pot, you rinse it, you put it in a pot of water, bring it to a boil, and then drop it down to a simmer and leave it there for 6 hours. At the end of 6 hours, it looks something like this. Now, you then chop it up or blend it or whatever with a little bit of lemon juice and some olive oil, some salt and pepper. And what you end up with is this semi-gelatinous spread that you then put on top of toasted bread and enjoy. The other way of using this is actually rolling it up into balls, rolling it in oats, and pan frying it and enjoying it that way. And here we have it. After boiling, straining, pureeing, and adding the olive oil and lemon. I'm pretty sure olive oil isn't the traditional oil used, but that's the recipe I have. I would actually do this with butter, and here's why. So this, even after refrigeration, becomes a sort of gelatinous goo. I'm told that somehow some people actually manage to roll this in oats and pan fry it, but you know, I guess it's possible, but the texture is just a little bit too runny to my way of thinking. Now I'm going to do this the traditional way. Put it on a piece of warm bread and eat immediately. I should say toast. Really dry toast. Okay. I survived. Yeah, it's very seaweedy because that's what it is. Obviously the long boil time made this infinitely more chewable. This is more of a spread now, obviously. See if I can try another bite without the crumbs going straight down my windpipe. So I will say, it's seaweedy, but it is a lot milder in texture. The oil and the lemon juice do help. I think I would have actually rolled this in, or mixed in melted butter instead of olive oil. I think that the addition of the butter, especially if it's mixed in really well, once you refrigerate this, will let it set up a little bit more. Have a thicker consistency that you could actually roll in oats if you wanted and pan fry. That texture is just a little bit, it's a little too difficult to do that. The other thing is, it is seaweed. So it's a little slimy. It's not bad. I don't know if I'm getting in line to have this on a regular basis. I do think this is a food born out of necessity and adversity. Maybe crops weren't good that summer. Winter storms are keeping you from sending boats out to fish. But a lot of this stuff is washing up on the shore. So let's find a way to eat this to survive. A slightly less extreme version of the Finnish pine bark bread, that I've wanted to do an episode on, but getting a hold of the right type of pine bark shipped from Finland has been difficult. This was slightly less difficult, slightly more nutritious than the pine bark, but not lighting my fire. I am really hungry, and this is what's available. So in a way, I'm enjoying it just as was intended. Very seaweedy, little slimy. Gonna be kind of a hard sell. But what do you think? Have you ever tried Welsh Laver Bread, or do you eat it on the regular? Did I do something wrong? Are there traditional ways that this is spiced up to make it more interesting? Let me know in the comments below, and also any other things that you'd like me to try on this channel. So with that, this really makes me salivate though. With that, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Recipe Redemption. What do you want?